welcome back. Welcome back again. And now to our next guest speaker, Ameria from Kampala. Sorry, I had to put you on hold while we heard from the doctor so that we would not lose the opportunity of listening to the doctor. But thank you so much and thank you for your patience. We believe that's where you are ready for today, and I'm sure we are going to learn so much from you. So who is Ameria? Ameria Momo Masiko. I've known her since 2008, I think, since we met during the Women in Leadership Conference in Kampala. For 25 years, she has been actively supporting small and medium entrepreneurs through financial services and enterprise skills development. I think that's how we actually met. Because of our support, many enterprises have grown and become successful using the loans and skills advanced to them. She has been mentoring the young people through training and skills development that matches the increasing global challenges. She's a mentor and a coach to the young people and others. Our passion is to inspire as many people as possible to be successful, to live a purposeful, happy, and peaceful life. She uses her experience, skills, and knowledge to help young unemployed people to be enterprising. At the same time, she helps others find their purpose. Using her passion for creating a beautiful and peaceful world, she has inspired many people to transform their communities. Gardening, especially exotic flowers and other plants, has become a source of income for many people, especially the young. Not only is she a source of, is it a source of beauty and income, it has become therapy for many, especially during these difficult times. And that was the 2 or so years before this year. Our vision is to see a transformed, peaceful, and beautiful world with happy and purposeful people. She attended the Women in Leadership Conference in 2008, and I think that's where we met with you, Ameria. You're not visible. Maybe you can just tilt the camera a bit. Yes, it's been a long time since we saw you, and I'm so glad that you're still doing what you've been doing for so many years, still mentoring, coaching people, using your skills, especially on, I think, microfinance. I think for me, it was microfinance. Maybe you can talk about a bit of that, because I think 25 years is a long time. And when you think of women being disadvantaged in terms of getting even loans, how did you find yourself in such a field? You can unmute and you can speak.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Thank you, Winnie, for honoring me.
Yes.
And remembering me all this time. And
Yeah.
you're doing a great job of promoting women.
Yeah.
And I think I got a message from a friend and says it's only women.
No,
yes,
they can join as men, because the skills we are talking about will impact everyone. So they can join if they want. I think we have even some men.
My journey of microfinance started in 1997. But before then, when growing up, I wanted to work with the communities. I enjoyed talking to people. Up to now, I still enjoy talking to people. That's why I'm into mentorship. When I reached the university, I wanted to do social work and social administration. But I wasn't offered that course because I hadn't done economics.
Wow.
So I was offered a Bachelor of Arts in education, and I declined because I didn't want to be a teacher. Those days, teachers were not seen as being useful people. So I opted for social sciences and I majored in political science and sociology.
Oh.
By end of my third year, I was a student activist. I joined the Uganda Patriotic Movement,
Wow.
Museveni's party, and we lost. By that time, I was finishing my exams in third year, and I ended up in Kenya in 1981.
Wow.
As a refugee.
Oh, no.
So I lived there. I worked with an Ethiopian company which was packaging and exporting tea. It was based in Nairobi. It had a branch in Mombasa and another branch in Kampala. So I worked with them until 1986. I came back to Uganda and I joined the Uganda government. And I was working in the human resource department.
Okay.
By 1994, I left government and started venturing into entrepreneurs. I started enterprising myself. I did so many sorts of businesses. I went into farming. It never worked for me because I didn't have the skills. I went into Dubai. I started importing things.
Wow.
It didn't work for me because I didn't know the tricks of importation.
Oh.
I went into cooking.
Oh.
It didn't work for me until I met a friend who introduced me into the microfinance world. When I started, we were a group of women. We had an organization. We wanted to empower ourselves. And we started as a commission agent for the Uganda project. It was called Poverty Alleviation Project. It was microfinancing small loans to the poor people. So we came on board to recover the loans on their behalf on a commission basis. Winnie, microfinancing is a very tough job. You have to be tough. You have to put statements aside when it comes to recovery.
Yeah.
But it is exciting when you see somebody becoming a better person using the finances you have given them. That's the most interesting part. You know, microfinancing is looking at the small world, the poor people.
Yes.
Most the people who don't have collateral, people who don't have networks, people who are running small businesses, which everyone is shunning.
Yeah.
And yet, according to the economy, the small businesses feel a big part of the economy of a country.
Yeah, they do.
They contribute a lot because the big corporates, the big corporations cannot reach the downsized person. They cannot reach the grassroots person. So they use it is us, the microfinanciers, who reach that small part and who make a big difference. So when I started microfinancing, I found I didn't know anything about finance because my background was political science. So I had to advance myself. I went for several training in microfinancing and I did a master's in finance and specialized in microfinance. Actually, my dissertation was about multiple borrowing and its effects. So in brief, everyone needs credit, whether you are big or small, whether you are employed or unemployed. You need credit to achieve some of your dreams. You need credit to build a house. You need the credit to buy a car. You need credit to grow your business. So everyone at one point has to borrow. You cannot run out of borrowing.
Yeah.
But what is the secret with microfinancing?
Yeah.
You as a microfinancier, you have to be disciplined because you're also using other people's money. You are borrowing to lend out. So you have to be disciplined. You have to pay back where you have borrowed. The same with the people you are lending to. They have to pay back. There's no running away from your debts. Whatever the circumstances, whatever calamities that come to you, you have to pay back where you borrowed. Because if you are not creditworthy, you can never, never be successful in any venture. You have to be disciplined, you have to pay back. And once you grow, don't expand so fast because you have got more money. Expand knowing how you're going to pay back. You know, most people fail to pay back their loans because they mismanage the income. They divert money from where it was supposed to be put. I remember in the early days, there's one man who came to my office and said, "Thank you for giving me a loan. I was able to marry my wife. I did a wedding to marry my wife." So he was distressed and he had to lose some of his savings to pay back the loan. So you have to have a plan. When you are borrowing, I'm borrowing so much and I'm going to put it for so much. And how am I going to pay back? So those are the principles and the guidelines in microfinance. And most people who are disciplined have grown. I remember I saw a lady who had started a small school using papyrus to build classrooms. But now she has grown big. She has double-storied classroom. And this is because she was disciplined. She was not diverting the money. The biggest issue of us people is once you become rich, when you see more money coming into your pockets, you think of living a super luxurious life. Yes, it's good to enjoy, but enjoy using the surplus, not the money to pay back your loans. But to cut it short, life is not all about money, Winnie. Life is about making a difference in people's lives. You use money. Hello? You use money. Whether you have money or not, you can make a difference in your community. So how do you make a difference in your community? You transfer the skills and information and knowledge which you have to the young ones, not only the young ones, even every other person. Everyone needs to know. Everyone, actually, when we were growing up, for us, we were born in the 50s and we were at college in the 70s. There was no WhatsApp, there was no Google, there was no mobile phones. So it was we lived a very modest life. You know, networking was very limited. You would find only networking with only your neighbors. But now,
or if you are living in those upcountry places or places where there's no water, when you're going to fetch water, when you are walking, etc. That's when you are networking.
Yes. So you can imagine how we were growing up those days, the discipline we had. And now, the modern times has changed. Everyone is on WhatsApp, everyone is on Google, everyone is on Facebook, Instagram. It is occupying most of our lives. And then you find others, you lose track of why you are created on this earth because of too much information around you. So it's very important that as elders, we pass on the knowledge and information. We inspire everyone to live a purposeful life, not of only accumulating wealth and living luxuriously, but making a difference. Make people live happily, create resources for people, share whatever you have, and make a better world.
does that now, this now for me, which is important, explains where your mentorship and your love for mentorship coming from, because you're using your past experiences to share with the young people. And I think that's what you normally do. You say you coach and mentor the young people so that they can learn more from your experience and they can make their lives differently and they can experience different things. The thing that is very interesting is that part of microfinance and how we need to learn. Actually, maybe most of the times we don't have that knowledge, and that is what is required so that when we are using the finances, we direct them to where we are supposed to direct them to use. And it's so interesting, like you started in a different path and you still ended up in finance. During the time before you ended up in finance, was there any indicator, anything that showed you'd have interest in maybe microfinance or finance or even mentorship? Anything outside what you're already doing and you loved doing sports? Because what happened that made you decide to change, and what made you realize that it's microfinance?
Okay, Winnie, when I was growing up, I enjoyed the community work. I was very active in the community activities.
Okay.
So when I felt to become a social worker,
I
found I'm in a career for administration. I was an administrator. And that was not making me find my calling. It was not fulfilling. I found there was something missing with me. And that's why I had to let go of my work and find another life. And how I had to go into business, because remember now I was not earning a salary. And I had to earn money to keep me going, to meet the basic needs. So that's why I ended up into business. But by luck, you know, if God has assigned you to do something, there's a way things unfold for you, and you find you are doing. Yes, you find yourself doing what you are supposed to do. Okay, giving out money was not my calling, but transforming the lives of people was my calling, and that was my passion. Making a difference in the people. So the microfinance was just a mechanism. It was a vehicle to enhance me, do my calling, make a change in people's lives.
To reach the
so
people
I use microfinancing to reach out to the people, to transform them. And when you give out loans, it is not fair to give out somebody money and you don't give them the knowledge and the information on how they're going to use that money. It's very, very important. You follow them up, discuss with them, give them the information, give them the skills. You know, not everybody knows how to balance their books, but just give them simple skills to know that I've made so much money, I've put in so much money. To know how to balance their books. They don't have to be highly educated to know how much money they are making or how much money they are using. It's just the simple knowledge.
So and at least you are providing the finances, and you are providing the knowledge they needed to use the finances. And at the same time, you are reaching the people that you desired to work with, and you are mentoring them at the same time. And now, during your time when you are offering this microfinancing, is it the same time that you started looking into gardening? Because that's another, I don't know whether it was combined together with your microfinance issues or it was on the sides.
Winnie, I used to love gardening as a young girl. And when I moved to my big home, I started gardening as my passion to make my home beautiful.
Mm.
But during the COVID time, I found, microfinance has scaled down. Most people are not borrowing, and even paying back is not good in the current times, because most businesses, there is no business that has not been affected worldwide. Maybe apart from the hospitals, which were getting patients and dead bodies, those kept earning. But the other businesses have run down. Most of them have closed. So there is transiting, we are evolving. So I had to use my time in the lockdown to make a living. So I started bringing exotic plants. I deal only in exotic plants. I import from Thailand, flowers which are called orchids. And I use them I use that as a therapy, and most people have come on board. Many people are beautifying their homes to make it beautiful. That time of lockdown, everything had gone standstill. Life was dead. And people who had gardens were finding it easier and more healthier to have something to look at, to keep you busy.
So at least with the garden there, then there's something they can do and they can admire as they go through their thoughts, their worries.
Yes. And you remember, you're also getting clean air.
Yeah, I see why you said it was for therapy. Yeah, it can be good for therapy, and flowers are beautiful anyway.
So in the process, I've also mentored the unemployed young people to venture into gardening, into landscaping, into flowers of all sorts, so that they can make a living.
Yeah.
Not only as a therapy, but they can make a living from selling flowers.
Yeah. Out of it. Wow, that's interesting, and it's important for us to realize that if one thing is not working, we can look for other opportunities. And sometimes we have those skills that have been dormant in our lives, and maybe we can bring them alive so that we can be able to turn and make our lives more interesting and maybe more inspiring to ourselves and to others. Because when our life is inspiring, we are motivated, and if we lose the motivation, then it becomes a problem for us and we can get into depression. And you are telling us you've moved and changed your life along like a span of 25 years. You're still moving. Because the other day we were speaking, you told me you are writing a book. Can you tell us something about that? Because this is another stage, this is another part. Becoming an author is like creating a legacy for yourself. In 25 years, you've shared with us in the last few minutes, you've moved from activists to microfinance, to mentorship, to coaching, to gardening, and now you are in another stage. You want to become an author. Tell us about the book. I'm excited about it.
Yes, sir.
I wrote
you
it down.
inspired me when you wrote your first book. You remember your first book?
Yeah, 2016. Actually,
Yes.
I did it in 3 months.
Yes, so actually I did it immediately after lockdown in 2021. No, in 2020 is when I started writing.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
By last year, I had finalized. Then I got a break. I lost my husband in August last year.
Our condolences.
So I had to now take a break and then reshape the book. But the book is mainly talking about my life, my growing up, And it's mainly looking at identity crisis. We all suffer from identity crisis at any stage. You don't know who you are. You're asking yourself who you are. You are comparing yourself to others. You are not happy with your life. You are not happy who you are. Like me, I never wanted to be a woman because that time women were shunned. We didn't have big posts. We are looking at as underdogs. And I had to grow up like a tomboy because I wanted to make people feel me and know that I also exist. So many people now, actually the young people now are suffering from identity crisis. And many are into drugs and alcohol because of not knowing who they are, because of not having purpose, because of low self-esteem. There's a lot to talk about. So I hope with that book, I can inspire many people who are lost to find themselves. You know, you don't have to be famous. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't need a degree. Actually, Winnie, for the first time you've heard today that I have degrees. I never talk about my education background. It's nothing. It doesn't matter. What matters is what I'm doing right now. What am I doing to my society? What difference am I making? It's not the degrees. It's not the money. It's what I'm doing with myself to make a difference in society. So the young people who are there, who are lost, there's hope. There's hope. And that is my biggest hope, my dream to come true, to make people who are lost to find the purpose. To find a place in this world. Not to get wasted because they don't know what to do with their lives.
That is nice because it reminds us that we should actually not worry where we start. We have, I think what Irene was saying before, we have a career path, then we will end up somewhere where we love. And if we know what we are passionate about and what's our purpose, at some stage, we must be ready to find that purpose and work on it to impact the people around us, and if not the world, because like you say, you don't have to be famous for you to impact anybody. You can impact even one person. And that is the goal of your life, to make a difference in one person's life. And that is very, very important. 25 years is not a short time. It is really a long time. And for you to have changed into different, say, careers at different times based on circumstances, and adopting and changing and accepting that really shows that we need to be very, very flexible. We need to also be adaptable so that we can be able to go through life within all these things. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, my last question, what would you tell your younger self?
My younger self would be, what is my calling? Why am I here?
What is
why was I born? What am I doing here on earth? That is what I would want to find out to my younger self.
And
what
many of the young people are asking themselves what's their calling, and maybe they don't know. And that is why I guess you wrote the book, Identity Crisis, because then you're trying to help us to understand how to find ourselves. What else? You can see there it froze. What else? Did I miss something? The second point?
The second point is believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, true, because a lot of times you don't believe in ourselves. And what are some of the things that maybe hinder us from believing in ourselves, because we are all different and we need to believe in yourself. Maybe those are some of the questions we need to be asking ourselves. There's things that make us not believe in who we are or believe in ourselves.
You know, the environment we are found in.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are born rich, some people are born beautiful, others are ugly, others are disabled, others don't get education, others get too much education. And you find you fail to believe in yourself by comparing yourself to others. So you need to believe in yourself that you are capable of doing something.
That's true. Any other or anything else that I've forgotten? I think I am so inspired.
Unless without God, there's nothing.
Without God, there's nothing.
There's nothing in this world. There must be a higher calling. Find that voice to guide you every day. That the Holy Spirit is the one that gives us direction. Is our Google map in our life. Without God, it is impossible to be happy. You can have all the money, you can have all the juicy jobs, you can have the beautiful homes, you can have many, many things. But without God, your life is empty.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. We need God in our life, and we have to have that belief that there's somebody who is overall, who is more than ourselves. So I believe that with God, things are possible. And we look forward to seeing your book, reading it, so that as we read, as we learn, we know that we've left behind a legacy that we can reflect back and be inspired from.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for making the time. I'm really happy that you are able to make the time so that you can be able to share with us. And that's a lot of knowledge within a very short time. I'm grateful for that. And I'm sure the people who are with us are grateful as well for being able to see that in a period of 25 years, you don't need to stay in the same place, because sometimes you meet people and they just tell you, I've been in 30 years, I've been in the same place, I feel frustrated. But when you look at your life, you've gone through so many things that were frustrating maybe at each stage, and you still told yourself, you need to believe in yourself, you need to move, you need to adapt, you need to change. I want to thank you for that.